Dustin Poirier just went on Robert Griffin III's podcast and had some interesting things to say about Michael Chandler. Now the question becomes, is Michael Chandler a dirty fighter? Dustin Poirier seems to have some proof. My name's Angelo. This is Josh Thompson, and welcome to Bad Takes. How you doing, Josh?
Yeah, I think there's more to just being a dirty fighter. I think there's a lot that was said, too, about him just being fake in general. And look, rumors have been around for a long time. A lot of top athletes have talked about him just being a fake person to their, online versus to their face. And a lot of people say, well, that's building the fight. No. Just admit what you did afterwards. And I'm going to play the audio right now for Dustin Poirier. He was on the Robert Griffin III podcast. He's got a co-host. I didn't see who that was. It's a female. I don't know her name. But let me just play this audio for you on the Dustin Poirier. It was the same podcast that Mighty Mouse went on talking about don't bring that gay shit in my house.
Oh, that's where that viral clip went? I saw that.
If you haven't seen that pod, look, Mighty's freaking hilarious, man. But his explanation on it was, I have a gay sister and I have a gay brother, and he just full on great relationship with his brothers and sisters, his brother and sister. And it was just funny to hear him say or talk about it anyways on this podcast. Here's the audio for it. Let's go ahead and play it.
It's fake, bro. And he might be a good person at home, but my personal experience, he's fake, man. But we do this knuckle shit, so I was even more mad. I'm like, oh, let's fight then.
Definitely prove.
And he's a cheater. And then, dude, bro, I could go on for days. I get so amped up about this.
Let it out.
Let me
Let
tell
it
you
out.
what. I get pissed off. He does all kind of stuff, man. Blows the blood in my eyes after I break his nose. That's cool. I've done that before. But I admitted it after. And then Chandler, I brought it up. And he said he didn't do it. Like, just admit it, bro. You're so fake. Then he stuck his fingers in my mouth.
Oh, my God.
To lift my neck up for a rear naked choke, right? He's on my back. I'm trying to get up off the fence. He sticks his fingers inside my mouth, grips my mouth guard, pulls my head up to try to get his hand under my chin. Bro, I bite his fingers so hard. Let me tell you what. Hey, you heard it here first. Let me tell you what. If I didn't have a mouth guard on my top teeth, if my teeth could touch together,
you bit his fingers off.
Oh, bro, he'll be walking and rocking like
He'll be
this.
walking around like this.
Hey, because I had a grip so good, I felt my bottom teeth go into his skin. I bet you he was cut. He knows what I'm talking about. You hoe. He's fake.
You hoe. Look, I've known Dustin Poirier for a long time. When he first came into the UFC, he was fighting at 145. I've trained with him out there in New Jersey. He was just visiting in New Jersey. We were both helping Frankie Edgar get ready for his second fight with
Maynard?
Henderson. No, with Benson Henderson.
Oh,
So we were
okay.
both out there helping him get ready for that fight. Frankie and I go back a long way. Frankie came out to AK a long time ago. Anyways, Dustin, though, I met him. I was like, man, this dude is legit. Not just legit in terms of a fighter, but just legit in terms of his personality. He's always been the no bullshit guy. And if you listen to Daniel Cormier, he's like, man, this dude went to my high school. It's an all-black school. You better know how to fucking fight. Like, you're the white dude at this school. You better know how to fight. He's like, bro, Dustin Poirier is a fucking dog. He's a stud. And look, his fighting style and the way he's presented his career, you cannot deny that. Now, look, I've had conversations with a lot of fighters because I worked for Bellator at the time. When I first came over from the UFC, it was supposed to be Michael Chandler and I fighting for the title as soon as I got there. There was something that came up where he couldn't fight me. Then we were matched up to schedule the fight after I got my first win. And then I got my second win right away and we were scheduled to fight again. And then I got injured and I couldn't fight him. And then we were scheduled to fight again a third time. And then something happened. I don't know if he got injured or what, but for some reason the fight was canceled. That being said, this dude literally needs to be thanking me because there was moments there where I was like, dude, I'm on your side. I think he's a good looking dude. He speaks well. I didn't know about him being this fake guy, but this dude literally is someone that will say all the shit online about how tough he is, this and that. And then when he sees you, then tries to start shit with you. But then when he gets in front of the media or gets around people, he wants to be as fake as he fucking possibly can about how great of a guy he is. This and that. I've had personal experience with him on this level. But I mean, I'm talking about certain other fighters that have fought him, have done marketing tours with him. And they're like, dude, this dude is so fucking fake. The camera turns on or a person of some sort of stature comes around. He is somebody that will change like a fucking chameleon right on the dot and change how he acts. That's what he does. And it's not just me. And if I drop these names of these fighters that have said this, you'd be like, oh man, if he pissed that fighter off, or if he was fake to that fighter, like man, that fighter's loved by everybody. And let's not go back. Is he a dirty fighter? There's already proof that he's a dirty fighter. This whole thing with Dustin Poirier, let's not forget his last fight with Charles Oliveira, the elbows to the back of the head, the fence grabs. Let's not forget all of these things, grabbing in the gloves. Let's not forget all of these things. All this shit happened in one fight. I have never, ever, ever grabbed inside someone's glove. Never. I've grabbed in my own glove. I got
never one time ever? Just sneak one out?
Nope, never. Nuh-uh. My hair, my fingers have got stuck in I fought Cajun Johnson before he was in the UFC. I fought him up in Canada. Was it Canada? I fought him in Boise, Idaho. And he had dreads. And my gloves got stuck in his hair. But I was on top. I was winning the fight. I was like 10 minutes in, ground and pounding him. I mean, he looked like a fucking the fucking elephant man. He was all so lumped up, but his face was swollen, everything. But my hands got stuck. I went to elbow him, came down, gloves got stuck in his dreads. He was yelling at me, "Don't pull my hair, bitch." And I was like, bro, I didn't mean to. I actually apologized. I'm like, hey man, I didn't mean to. But that's the situation. Is he a dirty fighter? I think there's no doubt. Let's be honest. Like this is proof. You put your fingers in my mouth to lift my chin. Like, look, I've done this. I've put my fingers across his nose, underneath people's nose, and then lift it up right at that little gap right there, because it's legal as long as the fingers don't go inside the nose, the orifice. Okay, like you can do it. Michael Chandler literally put his fingers inside Dustin Poirier's mouth to lift, to get the choke. The grabbing of the fence, the elbowing of the back of the head. Look, the gamesmanship of blowing blood,
the blood in the face,
bro. I never did that, but like I actually want to go back now and fight just so I could.
Good idea.
I don't want my nose to be broken to be put in that situation.
Well, Tito Ortiz famously said, "If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying."
Yeah.
At what level is it like? Listen, I'm trying to win this fight.
Fucking one liner Tito's ever delivered properly.
That he didn't. Yeah, that he didn't
fucking fumble the bag on.
I think the issue with the Michael Chandler stuff, so like, he's fake, he's a cheater, this, that, the other thing. Because some of this sounds like, yeah, of course you're two different people in the media versus not in the media, camera on, not on. I think the problem may be is that he doesn't admit it after the fact. Like Dustin Poirier just said with his own words, here's things that I did that were cheating. I bit him. That's cheating. I blew blood in his. Well, but you get the point.
Your fingers in my mouth.
So he just admitted those type of things, but he admitted it and was just cool about it, laughing about it. Like, yeah, I did those things. It is what it is. So I think that sort of gives you a little leeway, where if Michael Chandler's like doing stuff, denying it, I'm the greatest guy that's ever lived, it sort of comes across it doesn't come across as well. And I think some of it, he might be getting a little bit of a bad rap. I don't know why he's so disliked, because in the octagon, or even in the Bellator, what'd they call it? Just the cage? Did the Circle have a name?
The what?
In Bellator. Like, it's the octagon in the UFC.
It changed. It used to be, I think Coker called it the Circle.
The Circle. And in Bellator, he was also excited. Like, he has always been an exciting fighter. So I'm surprised he doesn't have that same support from the fans or from the other fighters that you would expect, because he's the exact type of guy in the cage that should be your favorite fighter's favorite fighter, right? He's got that Max Holloway type, I'm going to bring the fight, but for some reason, he is a little disliked in this space, and it's hard to figure out why.
Yeah, look, like I said, I've had conversations with a lot of fighters, and what they've seen is, and I've seen it myself, is just straight chameleon. He is somebody that when he sees you, if you have any stature, whether you're a top media guy, whether you're a sponsor, he will make sure that he is present around you to basically be around you, to I don't want to say mooch, but to be around you. He's that guy. Like, stay in the good graces of those guys. Because look, guys inside that work in the industry, they either love him because they have a higher stature than him, so they're like, he's always that guy. He's the one that's turned on. Like, hey, I'm the guy that's going to be friendly to you. I'm the guy, and it sucks because look, when I first met him a long time ago, when he fought Eddie Alvarez, the first fight, he was very quiet, very humble, but also respectful, but also fought the way that he fought. I saw him before his fight with Eddie Alvarez, and I saw him after his fight with Eddie Alvarez. Both times, respectful, like not just respectful, but also very just, hey man, I know, very confident. I took that confidence as being confident, not cocky, just confident. Look, I've been around, obviously been around world-class fighters my whole life, world-class wrestlers my whole life. This dude at the time I saw everything in it. And I was like, man, this kid's good. This kid's tough. He fights hard. He's got a good look to him. All these things. When I came over from UFC to Bellator, Coker and I had a conversation. He's like, I got Will Brooks, Will, has been known to give problems, this and that. And he was like, what do you think of? I said, Will's a fantastic fighter. I don't know on the other side where you've got to deal with him as management and fighter and this and that. He said, okay, well, he's like, look, we're going to, obviously work with him. He's our champion. I want to make sure that we try to keep him. The Michael Chandler situation, like, Michael Chandler, it's like, what are we going to, like, what do you think of him? I said, look, to me, I was there for the Eddie Alvarez fight, the first one. I thought he fought his ass off. I thought the second fight was just as good. All of these things that happen, right? Michael Chandler was extremely marketable, speaks well, fights hard, comes from a wrestling background. So you get the wrestling fans that follow him. He was someone that you could very much market. I said, you definitely, like, he was asking me about the weight class, and he was asking me about guys in the weight class, Patricky Pitbull. I said, you just can't. Like, to me, every time I've ever turned on Bellator, I didn't know which Pitbull was which, but I always knew that one of them was on.
Yeah.
I was like, and then I realized one's got Pitbull tattooed across his shoulder, his chest and shoulder. I go, I've seen that guy fight a lot. He's like, that's the one in your weight class. I'm like, well, he's fucking tough. You want guys like that. No different than how the UFC wants Justin Gaethje and Dustin Poirier and Dan Hookers. They want guys like that. Guys that they'll just gunsling it. No matter what, they're going to gunsling it. They're going to give you everything they got. And in this conversation, like, I basically stood up for Michael Chandler. And then as we get closer to us potentially fighting, just a chameleon, just somebody who just, I saw him in person and became a total fucking douchebag. Just a douchebag. Like, we're going to fight. Like, there's, and I've said nothing but positive things about you. And I look, if you want to build up the fight, that's great. But like in person, you're still a douchebag. It threw me off because I had met him long before that, and he was a very, very good kid, man. It seemed like a very good kid, and I loved watching him fight. I think that I've had conversations, like I said, with fighters that you look at and you go, look, if you piss that guy off, bro, it's probably true. Like,
easy going, mellow. Like, how did you annoy him? Yeah,
fighters that are loved. Look, open public record. Benson Henderson said it. He's like, he's fucking fake as fuck. He's like, he's just not a good person. And I was like, wow, Benson Henderson.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I have not met one person that doesn't like Benson Henderson. Not one.
It's great interesting because you mentioned, so two things. What you mentioned that the Eddie Alvarez era, Michael Chandler seemed to be a different guy, genuinely a good dude, humble, quiet, all those things. My only real interaction with Michael Chandler was then at Bellator 58. I was managing fighters at the time. I was managing Rafael Diaz. He was on the main card fighting Marlon Sandro, and we were sharing a locker room with Michael Chandler. And this is at in Hollywood, Florida, at the Hard Rock. Kind of crazy.
Same time. Was this the first fight? Yeah, we were there.
The first fight.
Time. Yeah, exactly. My buddy Trevor Prangley was the main event.
Michael Chandler was with his dad in our locker room, and then it was me, Rafael Diaz, and like Pahumpa or something like that. And then Michael Chandler, they pulled him to bring him to another locker room because obviously he's the main event. And
Chandler was not the main event. Oh wait, no, Chandler
was.
You are
Trevor
right.
Trevor was the co-main with Hector. Yeah,
that's right.
So they pulled Michael Chandler, and on his way out, he was like, "Sorry guys, they're moving me. Good luck tonight." So like he didn't have to say a word. He's the main event. He's focused. So that was that was my only real like, oh, like what a good guy this is. Then they ultimately moved Trevor Prangley as well, but that was because we were with American Top Team, and so was Hector, and the dynamic was a little weird. So they moved Trevor as well. But my only interaction with him was that era of like he's up and coming, he's making a name for himself, and he just seemed like a good, quiet, humble dude. So it sounds like he blew up a little bit, got some notoriety, and all of a sudden started to switch up. But when you're talking about he's switching up, he's a chameleon, it sounds like the opposite of most people. It seems like most people, when the camera's not on, just good guys, like can shake hands, be normal. Then the camera comes on, and maybe they say some wild shit, right? We're trying to promote the fight. It is what it is. Camera's off, like, all right, man, we're good. All right, we'll fight, blah, blah, blah. It sounds like it's almost the opposite. Like he'll, because he's very in front of the camera, very see at the top, like, very put together, professional, and it sounds like he's an asshole in real life, and then nice on camera instead of the opposite, which is what most people would be.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. It really is weird. Like, just be who you are. Like, the world's gonna find out, and this is what you don't want. You want more of this going around, you know? And like I said, the conversations with a lot of these fighters have been the same thing. Dustin's come out and said it. I mean, we saw the situation with Charles. You know, Benson Henderson's been very public about it. Myself, been public about it. Like, just, you know, just things. Him and I have had issues in person, like face to face, and there was just no reason for it. We were already scheduled to fight, all of these things, and there was just no reason for it. We're like, yeah. So it all led up, and there was other fighters all around, and there was CB Dalloway, Ryan Bader, you know, other fighters that were there. And I was like, man, this is very unprofessional, but it is what it is. Like, you know, if you can't keep your emotions under control, then hey, it is what it is. But yeah, it's definitely different to deal with someone who, in reverse, like I said, younger, and then maybe got a little bit of notoriety, but I don't think it's that. I honestly believe once that way, always that way. I think once like, he was probably just waiting, you know, until he did blow up to become his true self.
Just to relax and just be who he is, essentially.
Who he is. So look, I mean, the whole conversation started is he a cheater? I mean, kind of the proof is in the pudding a little bit there, you know, kind of the proof is in the pudding a little bit. And I think even Benson came out and said there was some glove grabbing, there was this, there was that. So, you know, it's been talked about a lot, and the fakeness has been talked about a lot.
So let me ask you this, without this going way too long. What percentage of fighters will do some level of cheating? I'm about to be taken down. Let me grab the fence. Hey, I'm going to get a better grip if I grab. Like, not blatant, ridiculous cheating, but just little, slight, sneaky things in a fight. More than half?
I think every situation and circumstance is different. I think fighters, I don't think more than half.
You don't think so?
No, because look, one thing that you're going to learn about fighters is that we most of us came from broken homes. Not all of us. Most of us came from broken homes. And all we ever had to run our lives on was the fucking respect we got on the streets. And if you were a fucking cheater or a snitch, you got no respect. And so under those circumstances, only I believe when people cheat, and they purposely cheat, is when they know they're already losing and they're frustrated and can't figure out a way to get in ahead. That's it.
Sure.
That's all. Look, fighters, they wear their pride on their sleeve, man. That's all they have.
Yeah,
Kids,
that makes sense.
You know, and so I never wanted to be a cheater. Never. You know, and don't get me wrong, I've kicked guys in the groin. You know, definitely not on purpose. You know, I've accidentally poked guys in the eyes. Definitely not on purpose. I don't think I ever have grabbed the fence.
Ever?
No.
Well, you were usually shooting the takedown, so maybe.
No, I don't think I ever grabbed the fence ever in my career.
I would grab that fucking.
Here's the thing. Grabbing the fence to me it's a mindful thing to grab the fence.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? You're falling down. You're just, oh shit.
No, but you actually have to hook your fingers in the fence. When I fought in Pride, when I've trained in AKA, we used the ring. Grabbing ropes is different. That is a natural reaction. I'm falling. What can I hook my arm on, or what can I grab on the way down? A fence, you actually have to put your fingers in. Like when I go to fall inside the cage, I push my hand against the fence and I slide
like
down.
a wall.
Only when you do this, does it count as a grab. If I put my fist against the wall, or if I put my palm against it and it slides down, I'm not grabbing the fence. And so for me, it was more the ropes. I've grabbed the ropes a lot.
Sure.
Sorry. I've grabbed the ropes a lot. That sounded healthy, right?
That was not. I got the
HIV, the HIV, baby.
Blood's coming out of that cough. Well, we're going to find out almost everything we need to know about Michael Chandler here in a couple of weeks when he does fight Paddy Pimblett. The eyes will be open, and we'll see if he has had another fight with a couple of eye pokes, or another fight with an elbow to the back of the head, or another fight with a fence grab. At that point, it's undeniable. We're talking about every single fight. There are some circumstances, but interesting rise and fall from who should be one of the most likable guys in this sport, just given his in-cage performances. But that's our take on Michael Chandler, and if not, he's a cheater.